So it's all gas and no brakes on the Red Corsair hype train. I've been absolutely loving painting them up recently, and I've got loads of ideas flowing. And one of those ideas is, what if they stole a Dreadnought? So yeah, they're like pirates, right? They steal, they plunder, they rob from other factions and people. And that got me thinking, what if they just stole a Dreadnought? Plus I was also thinking, how cool would one of these look? Like red and black and everything. You know, Dreadnoughts are one of my favourite models. I love painting them. So I thought, I need an excuse to put some red and some black on them. So I've come up with this cool idea of what if the Red Corsairs plundered and stole a Dreadnought. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to strip this Space Wolf Dreadnought clean and paint him up in some reds, some blacks, some silver, and see what it would look like if the Red Corsairs had their own Dreadnought. And here is the lucky Dreadnought that gets to be liberated from the Imperium. This poor little Space Wolf Dreadnought, yeah. So I was thinking when I had this idea, I was like, there's two ways to do it, right? I can either paint over the top of this, I can take the Space Wolf look, sponge over some like reds and have a little bits of the blue seeping through, so it's like they've stolen it and just put their own paint on the top. But my worry is there's so much paint on this already that I'd like you'd lose a lot of the detail. It'd be thick and clumpy. So I think I am just going to strip it clean and paint it up red, black and silver, and those Red Corsair vibes. So I've got downstairs a big old bucket of isopropyl alcohol. I'm just going to dunk this boy in for God knows how long. I've never stripped anything this big. Maybe about an hour or so, and see how we get on. And we'll bring him back and we'll get ready to start painting him as a Red Corsair. And here he is, all fresh with a clean coat of primer, almost like that Space Wolf video never happened. It is quite funny, like, watching all that paint just strip away and all the work we put in just fade away into nothingness. But I'm excited to get started on this new project. It's going to be really good. So, just to go over what we've done, we've just primed him in black. And that's because what we're going to start off with is this red sponging. I say start off with, all of the red base layers are going to be sponged on just because I really like those highlights. And then when you have that black undercoat and the red sponging on top, what you get is, yes, you can kind of see there some sort of like black recess shading in between the gaps where the sponge can't get to. So that's why we've primed in black, just so those little recesses will be nice and dark. And we build up these highlights with these reds, which is exactly, as you can see, where we're starting off. So we're just going to take, this is Khorne Red, and we're going to start building up layers of red with the sponge. So this will be all over, just sort of getting a nice good coverage of Khorne Red everywhere. So I guess we can start off with, yeah, this Khorne and then Mephiston and see where we can go from there. Right, so there's just the first two layers of red. So it was Khorne and Mephiston, I believe. Yeah, and I always go on about it, but I just love this sponging, man. It looks so good. It's just really nice. Like, I really enjoy leaving the old paint on the sponge and then kind of working the new paint into it and making like a nice blend. So like, obviously we put the Khorne on and then we didn't even like wash it off or anything. We just went straight into the Mephiston, and it's kind of made this like nice blend. And yeah, you get some real nice like shadows and shading and nice sort of like volume on the mini. It's looking real good. Yeah, like I mentioned, that black primer sitting under to give us a lot of the recess. I thought it might be a bit excessive because I was like, there's loads of black and loads of it in there. But I was actually thinking black is a prominent colour on the Red Corsairs anyway, and that kind of fits the vibe of they've just stolen it, stripped it, and hastily like chucked some paint on it. So it would be a bit messy, a bit patchy, a bit seeping through. So we're just going to carry on with this. We're going to work up to some brighter reds. So I've got here, I believe, Evil Sunz and Troll Slayer? No, sorry, Wild Rider, that's it. Evil Sunz and Wild Rider. Sweet, that's all of the red done. I guess we can put this armor on quickly just to see what it looks like as a cohesive model. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's looking nice, that is. Yeah, some nice like highlights, some nice volume and like shading to it. Yeah. I'm really happy how this has come out so far. We're going to move on to the black panels next. That's why this leg here is going to be black. So we're going to paint all of this leg here Abaddon Black. I know we primed it black already, but obviously Abaddon's a little bit different to the Colour Forge Raven matte black. I don't think I want to sponge on highlights for this. I think putting on like, because I normally do like Eshin, Dawnstone, and then Mechanical Standard, is it? Or Administratum, sorry. I normally use those 3 greys to highlight the blacks on my Red Corsairs. And I don't think that'll look good, like sponging on all those greys, like Dawnstone and whatnot. I kind of like it being like a dark, heavy black, with a little tint of edge highlight to give it some structure. So the start of this video was all like exciting and cool, like I had this fun idea, it'd be an awesome project to do, but now the realisation of what I've done has actually set in, and the fact that I've stripped away this lovely painted dreadnought and I'm painting it up into something that basically can't be used in game, because obviously, like, you know, Chaos Space Marines and Red Corsairs can't exactly use a Ballistus Dreadnought. Like, there's no use for it in game. So I'm kind of painting this thing up for like no real world use, which is fine. Like, it's a fun, cool project. Hopefully, like, this video does alright and you guys enjoy it. That's the main part. But then also kind of the actual reality of, oh wow, if I want to use this, actually use this model for like my Black Templar army, I'm going to have to strip it all again and repaint the entire thing for a 3rd time. And that's not something I really thought about or considered when I started this project. Like, I'd have to go for a 3rd time if I ever want to use it in game. And there is all of the red panels, the black panels, the highlights, and I also did some silver bolts on there just because it adds a lot to it, and I need to start this Leadblecher silver stuff eventually, so I thought I might as well get ahead of it, because this is going to be a nightmare afterwards. But first up, we've got this armour, and I'm so happy with how it looks. It's such a cool vibe. Like, I love the black leg to emulate the black panels that the infantry have. Same with like this shoulder pad, although this guy's got 2 red, so maybe it was a bad example. Oh, let's grab this dude. Yeah, so kind of like recreating the vibe of the infantry, like the odd black panel and shoulder pad, then like the black leg and this one, and it's really cool. It's such an awesome vibe, and it's really like, I feel like it's captured the Red Corsairs quite well already. So next up, we need to just put on Leadblecher. I'm dreading it a little bit because there's just so much. I was even considering not including it in the video because I was like, you guys don't want to see me put Leadblecher on these bits here, the legs, the guns here, all of the back of the legs, all of this. Oh god, it's a lot. But it's not all going to stay Leadblecher. So what we're going to do is we're going to treat the metallic frames, like the legs and this stuff in here, like the trim of the minis. So I'll paint it Leadblecher, and then I think I'm going to put like Black Legion over the top of it to really darken it down, and then highlight it with some Leadblecher. And then for the weapons, we're going to leave the actual guns themselves Leadblecher, and then put some Rattling Grime on top of the casing of the guns. So similarly to, yeah, this like pistol here, it's got some Rattling Grime on the gun casing. So a lot of Leadblecher to go on, but we're going to do different things with different sections. Just need to put like the base work of Leadblecher onto it, and it's going to be a lot of base work. So I guess I should stop rambling and we should just get on to it. Right, there's the first leg of the Leadblecher triathlon. So it's just the framing that we've painted in black to replicate the trim. So we just did Leadblecher and Black Templar because I was going to do Black Legion, but I kind of remembered that the Black Legion is very heavy and covers all of it, and you have to edge highlight Leadblecher afterwards. Whereas Black Templar is just a little notch down and lets some of the silver through. So kind of you can see on the joints in the legs maybe, a little bit of the silver comes through, so it kind of helps differentiate it from the black Abaddon Black panels we've got. Ah, okay, we've done it. The Leadblecher Olympics are over. We finally painted off all the silver, we've done all the trim, all the black panels, everything, all the red armour. Looking really good. Like, yeah, the overall vibe of the mini so far, like this red and whatnot. I'll actually, you know what, I'll do a thing here. It's really nice. I love the overall vibe. I feel like you look at it and my first thought is like, oh yeah, this is a heavy Red Corsair Dreadnought. It's looking really good. So yeah, super happy with it so far. Especially all of the Rattling Grime. Like, it's only used it for the first time in my last video on the like test comparison thing. Really nice. I really like how it looks. It proper differentiates some of the Leadblecher, so it's not just like Nuln Oil darker and Leadblecher, because I find sometimes Nuln Oil, while it darkens it down and changes it, doesn't make too much of a difference, doesn't distinct it enough. But this Rattling Grime is like, no, yeah, this is an old, worn, heretical piece of metal or weapon that's been like taken and like, you know, just battered and ruined and scavenged. So yeah, really happy with how it looks so far. And it's only going to get better. So we need to move on to the details. Honestly, there's not actually that much, to be fair. There's a few purity seals, but what I want to do with these details is I don't want to just paint them as if like, oh, gold and what my purity seals, Wraithbone and Agrax Earthshade and stuff like that. I kind of want to try and like chaosify it a little bit, or at least make it a little bit different and unique. So I've actually got a plan with the purity seals to make them a little bit like burnt ends, I think, are the vibe I'm going to go for. I'm going to paint them the normal Wraithbone and Agrax, but then I'm going to try dry brushing and stippling some like dark browns and blacks around the edges, as if to be like, oh, it's all burnt and charred, because they've just like screwed with it. In a similar vein, he's still got the chest aquila on him, like the big eagle, and I was going to cut it off with a knife and like sand it down and do something different, because I was like, they wouldn't have the aquila on there, they're like, you know, heretics. But I forgot to do that. There was no like logical choice, I just genuinely forgot to like peel it off before priming it. So what I might do instead is I'm going to paint it gold, but I really want to like sponge some black over the top of it. So like they painted the aquila black over the top of the gold, but I want to sponge it so some of that gold seeps through. So it kind of looks like they have literally just like recently just slapped some paint over it. So that'd be quite a cool little thing. So yeah, excited to move on to the little details and try and like add little bits of pizzazz to it, because there's a couple of little ideas like that I want to try and flesh out and work on to make it really like a Red Corsair Dreadnought, not just a red and black one. Like, I know I should paint it black, like I have to make it more thematical, more heretical, chaos and Red Corsair. But there's something really nice about that gold on the red. I guess it's why people love the Blood Angel so much, because it's just, yeah, such a pleasing colour. Oh, it's really nice. But yeah, just going to trap some black on this. Also, just minorly, while we're here, I'm really happy with these like burnt, charred, dirty purity seals. I tried to just put some browns and blacks on them just to like look like they've just been like ripped apart, torched, and like not taken care of. Yeah, nice little effect. I'm excited to do it on the parchments. I'm going to do the same thing, paint them like... This might be a bit darker actually, like Zandri Dust rather than Wraithbone. But I'm going to stipple all the blacks and the browns to make them all charred and ripped and whatnot. Right, that's all of the details done. Well, apart from the like sarcophagus and some pipes, like I've still got some heavy metallic details, but I've done all of the skulls, the parchments, and the chest aquila, and I've got some ideas going, you know. So I put the blacks and brown like sponging on the chest aquila to give it that whole like raided, dirty, stolen vibe, and it looked a little bit flat because it was just black on the black and red armour. It kind of faded in and just looked like a blob. So I put some grey highlights on it to give it some shape and definition. Looking really good. Don't know if you'll be able to see. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe. It's looking nice. Like, it stands out. It's got some structure and some shape to it. And then I was thinking, I was like, kind of got the ball rolling, and I got some ideas of what I can do to this guy to make him a little bit more chaos, raided, Red Corsair. Admittedly, ideas I probably should have thought about before I started painting it, because one of them is going to go over this red shoulder pad anyway. But that's why I've come to this all like review stage, because I've got some ideas going and I want to start doing some more chaosified stuff. So we are going to get onto the sarcophagus at the end, but I've got some cool ideas I kind of want to start working on to make this guy look a little bit more raided and stolen from a different chapter. And there's a crazy idea number one, and you see what I mean now, but I should have planned that ahead. So I just put some transfers, like some Space Wolf transfers on the knee and the shoulder pad, and like sponged over the top of them as if to be like, yeah, they've stolen this Space Wolf Dreadnought and they've just like slapped their own paint over the top of it. I kind of left like the transfers coming through a little bit, just so it kind of sees little remnants of it, so it does look a little bit like haphazard and a little bit like piratey and like rushed and looking good. I also slapped on a big fist on the shoulder pad. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I kind of liked the black of it, like how dark and just plain and black the shoulder was. I might sponge over a little bit of black just to dull it down because it's very bright. And then also, if we zoom in, there's little tally marks above the skull. Now you're going to have to trust me here, but like I was actually planning on doing that exact thing anyway with a brush. In fact, I can prove it. I was practicing on, I got this Fenrisian Wolf. I was practicing on the base. So the underside, look, I did try to like use some Rhinox Hide and then a little bit of Leadblecher to highlight it as if to emulate. They've scratched in some like tally marks of what they've killed. So I was actually planning on doing that already, but I found out there's some transfers for it on the Red Corsair transfer sheet. So works out perfectly. So that was my first idea. I've got one more little extra thing I want to like just do on this guy. I don't know what I expected from this. Part of me was like, it'll be fine. But then part of me was like, it's going to be a state. And I think it's actually landed somewhere in the middle. So I've just tried to, I guess, do I need to turn the lights off? Oh, somehow it's better with the lights off. I tried to use some freehands to write Huron across the parchment as if to be like, easy, put your stamp on it and be like, yeah, I'm here, this is mine. It's come out a little bit like a 3-year-old's handwriting. Like, I guess, can we do like a super zoom? The fact that it's really hard to see on the camera with the lighting means it's probably going to mask how bad it looks in person. But there we go, yeah, the R almost looks like a T. You kind of get the gist though, like the vibe of what I was going for. Like he's, left his personal stamp on this model. So to be fair, that was the extent of it really. Just some transfers that I wanted to sort of like cover up and mask, and then also some freehand just to little like make it a little bit more chaosified, a little bit more like scrappy. It's the thought and the idea that counts. But I guess from here we can go back onto the normal plan of painting. So we can just jump straight back into this sarcophagus that will be like bronze for the trim, I reckon, some blue for the lights, then just paint in these pipes. I think that's, after that, that's pretty much everything, right? We'll just have to paint some of these pipes over here, and these pipes, so they'll just be like silver and copper and whatnot. Oh my god, here he is in pretty much all of his glory, to be fair. And now there is a reason why we're not in the review station. There is, I guess, 2 things I still want to do. But I thought we'll just get a good look at him before I do those things, just in case it ruins him. Well, the first one won't. It's just this pipe. It's probably going to be silver, to be fair. And then this one over here I might paint like Balthasar Gold, just like a bronzy colour to match like the tubes of the rockets and the sarcophagus, just to add some colour other than red or black, because that's a lot of the model. So that's just like a final little admin bit I need to do. But the last thing is I want to put some like chip damage and some wear and tear on this dude, because A, he's a little bit too shiny and like clean, which is fine for the Imperium and Loyalists, but I think fitting the story of like, yeah, this guy was stolen from the Space Wolves in the heat of battle, dragged onto like a ship against its will and like stripped down. It should be worn and torn, you know, it should be chip damage, there should be like scratches, it shouldn't be pristine. Hence why we've like scorched and like dirtied up a lot of the rags and the decoration. So to do that, I'm just going to grab some Rhinox Hide and just sponge it on around like the edges, the chips, some flat panels, just to like I mentioned, just a bit all over the place to add some wear and tear. I'm just hoping it doesn't ruin it, because so far it looks really good and I really like it. But I do want to add that little extra something. So I'm going to do that. And then also, like I mentioned, slap on something on the base. And here he is, our Red Corsair Ballistus Dreadnought, and oh my god, this looks unbelievable. I'm so happy with how this has turned out, like the colours, the shading, the overall vibe. Yeah, it's 10 out of 10. I'm so glad I did this. It looks really cool. I definitely think as well, like the chip damage we just added on at the end here, makes it look even better, you know? Really nice, just a little bit of wear and tear. I put some silver like cracks, I guess. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Like I put those like the chip damage we've just done, And I tried to put a little bit like a Leadblecher in some of the chip damage, just to give it a little bit more character. Like you've chipped away at the paint and you've got down to the actual armour of it. That looks really good, adds a lot to it. I really like all of the imagery, like all the Red Corsair transfers. And one thing I really like, and this was kind of like the thing that got me going, I was like, oh, this would be really cool, and I think would look great, is this black leg and this black shoulder pad. Because obviously the Red Corsairs have like some panels red, some panels black, like a nice combination like this dude here. So I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to put that on something big like a Dreadnought. I have like, yeah, like an entire leg black and like an entire sort of shoulder pad. Maybe I even could have done like one of these panels here black instead. That might be quite cool. But either way, I like the whole imagery. This is a big black leg of the huge armour, the recess shading, the chip damage. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I guess in the sense of wear and tear as well, I'm really happy with how I sponged on some black over this and it's dulled it down a lot, which is nice. And then same with the two transfers, one on this knee down there, then one on the shoulder pads. There's like a faint remnants of like the space walls that it used to belong to. Really, really happy with this. I guess one negative, one thing I wish I could have done more with this is I wanted to do more like kit bashing and like gluing things on and give it that whole like raider feel, like they've stolen bits and bobs. But that's just one part of the hobby I'm not too confident with and don't know too well yet, like how to take things and where to put them. But what I will say is if we zoom in, there you go, like a proper super zoom. I'm really happy with like the chaosified things we did do. So like, yeah, the Aquila I really like. Like I like that you can kind of see the gold like underneath, like it was gold and they've just like slapped some black oil and paint over the top of it. I definitely think edge highlighting it was the right call as well, because it was, yeah, it's a big blob of a mess when it was just black. It's like, I love that. I love all of the little like torched purity seals. I like that. And the parchment here on the knee, how it's all like browns and blacks and it's kind of like all torched and grimy, like they've just, yeah, almost set fire to them. They don't really care for them. I think it's one on the back as well. Yeah, that was good. I guess this shoulder's a little bit bare. Maybe something could have gone on it, like the shield. That looked alright there, actually. Maybe, I don't know. But overall, yeah, I'm just so happy with this. It's incredible. It's so good. I'm a big fan. I guess for the base as well, I just put some greys. Like I've been doing that with all my Corsairs, like Eshin, Dawnstone, on top of like Armageddon Dust to give it some texture. And I've been playing around with this pigment powder. I still don't know how it works and how to use it properly. I've just kind of been slapping it about with different layers of moisture, like some a little bit wet, some a little bit dry. It's just this one, Leho Pigment Grey. So yeah, if anyone's got any tips on how to use pigment powders just to give it a bit more character, let us know. But I like the way the greys look against the black and the reds, like a nice sort of just package. But yeah, overall 10 out of 10. Could not be happy with this. And there we have it, a Red Corsair Ballistus Dreadnought. And I was a little bit anxious, or I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this at first, because I was like, oh, this would be quite fun, but there's literally zero way to use it in-game. Like, it is, for all intents and purposes, just a piece of like terrain on a tabletop. So I was like, oh, is there any point in putting all that effort in? Plus I've already got the Space Wolf one, and also I'm probably going to turn that thing into a Black Templar for my army anyway, so like, is it really any point in doing all this? But like, you know what, it was really fun to do, it looks really cool, and it was really easy to like strip a whole Dreadnought and repaint it. Plus, like, I think I just love Dreadnoughts. Like, this is like the third one I've painted. I did the Redemptor, Black Templar, Space Wolf Ballistus, and now the Red Corsair Ballistus. And they're just so much fun, man. I love it. I love like sponging on highlights with them. I love the big panels, the chunky armor, all the little details that live inside this huge monster. Like, yeah, it is really fun. So even though like I can't use it, like it was still a really fun project to do, and really cool to have as like, oh yeah, that's something I did, like a cool thing. Like, yeah, I really like it. And hopefully you guys like it too. And if you did like it, drop a like and subscribe on the video. Also, thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Bye.